Greetings, everybody. Richard Fulmer here, and welcome to another one of my Richard's Rock Rambles. So we're going to carry on looking at my top trio. That is my top 3 albums from any particular artist. And last time around we had a look at Iron Maiden. We're going to stick with the Brits, but we're going to go a little bit north to Birmingham, in fact. And we're going to check out Judas Priest. Yes, these guys have been going since when did they start? Early 70s, 74, around there. Still going today. New album about to be released, I think next month, in March. And still going strong. Obviously, for a band, any band that's been going for this length of time, been lots of lineup changes over the years. Their style has changed as well. From the early days, they were more sort of I don't know, what would you call them? Blues-based psychedelic hard rock. Long before they became the metal gods that they are today. So we're going to check out my 3 top studio albums. That's something I also wanted to mention. I didn't mention it last time. What I'm trying to do, or what I'd like to do, is stick to purely studio albums for these rankings, these top 3 rankings. What I will do later on is have a look at live albums, and that'll be a whole different thing. But we're going to stick to studio, I think. So this was hard for me because I've had a long history with Judas Priest, probably more than Iron Maiden. I mean, they have been going longer. Going back to my early days when I first got into hard rock and metal, Judas Priest is one of the bands that really caught my attention. And, they've always flown the flag for metal. Rob Halford and the guys, although he wasn't always in the band, he did leave them for 2 albums. He came back, same as Bruce Dickinson did with Maiden. Quite strange that he came back because I think Priest, like Maiden, needed Halford in their ranks. An excellent frontman. But anyway, let's get into the ranking. And coming in at number 3, and as I said, this is very hard for me. It doesn't mean that one is not as good as the other. It's just some of these albums have more of a resonant. They resonate with me more. I have more of a history with them. So enough waffling. Let's get on with it. Screaming for Vengeance from Judas Priest at number 3. And this album is the one that was a kind of a game changer for them. Took off in the States, massive sales. They were part of that US Festival in 1983. In fact, there's a 30th anniversary edition of this. This is just the normal standard CD version. I used to have this on vinyl as well. I don't know what happened to my vinyl. Anyway, there's a 30th anniversary edition which actually has that whole US Festival on DVD as a bonus, and that is incredible to watch. Priest at their peak. This was around 1982, I think this came out. Yeah, 1982. So they were just hitting their straps with this album. There's not a bum track on here. Starts off with a Hellion, which is kind of like an instrumental intro, and they use that track for a lot of their live concerts as the intro. In fact, if you look at that US Festival, you can see they use that there. And then that goes straight into Electric Eye, which has got some great drumming. Excuse me. So who's in the band here at the time? Let me just quickly mention that. Dave Holland, the late Dave Holland on drums. I mentioned the drumming for Electric Eye. Glenn Tipton and KK Downing on guitar. Ian Hill on bass, and of course Rob Halford on vocals. And his vocals on here are top notch. So then that's Electric Eye. Then it's Riding on the Wind with there's a nice drum intro to that from Dave Holland. Then we get into Bloodstone, which became another big hit off the album. Like I said, this album is just chock-a-block with good stuff. Then the next track, I Can Take It or Leave It, it's okay. Take These Chains. It's kind of a more mellow track. It does pick up towards the middle. But all the guitar work on here is sublime. The harmonies between Downing and Tipton on this album are the best you'll ever hear. Pain and Pleasure. Yeah, Rob Halford likes to sing about sort of, that subject. Then the title track, Screaming for Vengeance, which is the first track on side 2 of the original vinyl. Wow, what a track. If you want to get a party going, just stick that one on. See all the headbangers come out. Nice, up-tempo Priest. You Got Another Thing Coming. Another track that I Can Take or Leave. I think I've heard it too many times. That would become a massive hit off this album. A real crowd pleaser, sort of sing-along song. It's okay. I think I've just heard it too many times. Then Fever, the second last track, and Devil's Child. Also a great crowd favorite. There's also that DVD Alive in 82 or 83, I think, that came out of Priest Live. It's got a silver box DVD. You must watch that one, especially with Devil's Child and Rob Halford going crazy on stage. Around this time, and I wasn't aware of it, he was having serious drug issues. He was really getting into the cocaine and all sorts of stuff. And after watching that video, the first time I saw it, that DVD, I thought, oh, this guy must be on something. He was so pumped up, and it kind of all makes sense. Anyway, all rockers go through that, I guess. I just want to see if there's anything I can show you inside. Like I said, this isn't the deluxe version. So basically, there's the band. There's Rob Halford in the middle. That's Dave Holland. There's Ian Hill, bassist. That's Glenn Tipton, and there's KK Downing. Leather and studs look well into it there. And there's the lyrics. So that's pretty much it. So that's my number 3. For many people, it may be their number 1. But hey, like I said, my top 3 also could change. Next week I might decide that number 1 is number 3, etc., etc. But that's my number 3. Number 2, and this is the 30th anniversary deluxe edition, which comes with a DVD, and there's a live CD as well. So it's 2 CDs and a DVD. Judas Priest, British Steel. Now, if that was a game changer, this was even an earlier game changer, 1980. And the leather and studs look really started, I think, with this album. Excuse me, I'm talking a lot today. This is just full-on British metal. You don't get better than this. The first track, Rapid Fire. I think a lot of the thrash bands took that song as inspiration. Great drumming from Dave Holland on there. Into their sort of signature tune, if you like. Metal Gods, Rob Halford's Tour de Force. Great riff. That riff is just classic from Downing and Tipton. Breaking the Law. Big hit from the album. Personally, I never need to hear that song again. Besides the horribly cheesy video that came out with it, I don't need to hear that song anymore. Not their best moment, I don't think, personally. Grinder. Oh, how's that song's beginning with that? Dun, 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 dun. Magic stuff. Live, it's just even better. Especially on the DVD here, they play the whole of the album on the DVD. Plus a few of their classics. I'll mention that in a minute. United, another track which I don't need to hear again. It's very sort of rah-rah. It's for the crowd kind of thing. It's okay for what it is. You don't have to be old to be wise. Well, I don't know if that song would really be able to pull it off, seeing as Rob Halford and co are well into their 60s and 70s. Maybe some of the younger guys could still pull it off within the band. Living After Midnight, another big hit off the album. Another song which is okay. The Rage. Now, there aren't too many songs in their catalogue which starts off with a bass intro. That one does, The Rage, with Ian Hill coming in with that bass. Do-do-do-do. And it's beautiful, just magic. And then it launches into the riff. And Rob Halford singing Up a Storm. On this album, Rob Halford's vocals, you can hear the full range. The high stuff, obviously. And you can do a lot of the mid and lower range stuff. His voice was just cooking on this album. And then finally, it finishes off with another great track, Steeler. Also great riffs. The 2 bonus tracks on here, Red, White and Blue, which was, I'm just trying to read this here. Also just his bonus track. And Grinder Live, a nice live version of that track as a bonus track. Then there's a 30th anniversary live CD and the DVD. So like I said, the DVD, you get the whole of British Steel. Metal Gods, Breaking the Law, Grinder, blah, blah, blah. You don't have to be old to be wise. And then there's a few other ones as well, like The Ripper, which is kind of like one of their old hits. Hell Patrol, Victim of Changes, great version of Victim of Changes with the 2 harmony guitars. Freewheel Burning, another up-tempo. Diamonds and Rust, the Joan Baez track, which they made their own. And then they're finishing things off with You Got Another Thing Coming. Really nice version, let's see if you can get hold of it. I think it's still in print. Our box is coming loose here, so I don't want to unfold this because it's a whole mission to unfold, and it opens up like that, and there's not too many other pictures inside, pretty much just the 3 discs. So that's my number 2, British Steel of Judas Priest. So what's number 1? Well, like I mentioned, albums you have a history with. And this was one of the first Priest that I ever got. And the album before this almost made my top 3, that being Stained Class. But my number 1 is Killing Machine, also released as Hellbent for Leather. I love that cover. And this came out in 70. When was this? Oh, God, my eyesight. I need new glasses, I think. 78. Yeah, there's the guys. A little bit younger. Rob Halford still had hair. There's Glenn Tipton. There's Ian Hill. And there's KK Downing. And my favorite drummer for Priest is on here. Les Binks. I love his drumming. All over the place. Very much a 70s style drummer as opposed to Scott Travis, their current drummer, is more of a pounder. So what's on here? This is the remastered version, by the way, part of that remastered series. When you put them all together, they have like a Priest sign. I don't have all of them. Delivering the Goods kicks things off. Love that song. Always gets me off the chair and I start to headbang. Sorry, the writing is terrible because it's red on black. Let's see if I can find an easier way to read this. Yes, here we go. Delivering the Goods, Rock Forever, Evening Star, not my favorite on the album, but sort of iffy, kind of commercial. Hellbent for Leather, Rob Halford's signature, where he comes out in his Harley every time he goes on stage. That became another standard track. Take on the World, it's okay, not my best track. Burning Up, the first track on side 2, original vinyl. Love that. Starts off very slowly and then it just builds and builds and builds and the riff kicks in. Classic stuff. I wish that's another track which they didn't play that often live, sadly, which I thought was the best track on the album. Then they do a cover. Priest have done covers over the years. They did a Fleetwood Mac cover, the Green Man Alishi, give it the Priest sort of treatment, and it became another big hit for them. And what else is on here? Killing Machine, Running Wild, Before the Dawn, which is more of a mellow track. Lovely vocals from Rob Halford, showing that you can do all sorts. Evil Fantasies, another one of Rob's sort of sexual connotation songs. If you listen to the lyrics, quite descriptive. That's got almost like a bluesy feel to it, but it's still hard hitting. And then there's 2 bonus tracks on here. Fight for Your Life, which I don't really care for, and Riding on the Wind, the live version of that as a bonus track. And it tells you all about the bonus tracks. There's Rob Halford. There's the lyrics. And there's You Always Wore Red. That's Glenn Tipton. And there's KK Downing. And there's Ian Hill. And there's Les Binks. Like I said, a great drummer. He was supposed to have hooked up with, there's another shot of the band, hooked up with KK Downing in his new band, but for whatever reason that didn't work out, so he's got a different drummer. That's it. Judas Priest, my top trio. And please let me know yours. I was really blown away by the responses to the Maiden one. So let me know down below what are your top 3 studio Priest albums. And why you chose them. Be great to hear. Great to see how different things are with people. And I'll catch you next time. I think the next time around I'm going to have a look at my favorite band. One of my top 2. Black Sabbath, but I'm only going to do the Aussie era because they've got such a large discography, to do the all together. I might do a Ronnie James duo with him and other bands later on. Have yourselves a great week, guys. Give me a thumbs up down below. As I said, any comments, and subscribe if you haven't. I'll catch you next time. Take it easy. Bye-bye.